Hey, two-wheeled friends, welcome back to another shadow day. Got an interesting one for you today. Not sure where to start with this. Something fresh on my mind because it's something that just happened yesterday from the time of recording this video. Have you ever been fired Sorry, I had to be noisy. Have you ever been fired from a job? Or have you ever had to fire somebody from their job? That's the question today, and I want to hear your answers. I will tell you my story. Let's hear all your answers down below. Let's roll that intro. Some of you here do know what I do for a living, and some of you probably don't, but we own a couple smoke shops. They are in different cities from each other. A few weeks ago, I hired a new person to start. We had a gal that was working for us. She was awesome, and she's agreed to stay on with us part-time yet, as needed. So that's always appreciated and really cool. But she decided to leave our company and go do something that kind of kept her hands occupied a little bit more. We have periods of some downtime and there was a little bit of boredom from time to time, and she just felt she wanted to move on. And that's cool. I respect that. She left on excellent terms. She's always welcome to come back. And like I said, she offered to stay on with us part-time. So I hired a new person to take her place. And I'm not going to name this person. I'm not going to even identify any part of this person. But I hired this individual, about 3 weeks ago. It took a little bit to get connected with this person to hire, and I understood the circumstances a little bit of why. There's some things with the phone not working, and I kind of suspected like the bill wasn't being paid, but I was told that the settings were changed, and I kind of had, it's kind of weird, I kind of had some red flags in hindsight looking back at this. Nonetheless, I hired this person on, gave the same training I gave everybody else, but there was a little bit of a struggle when it come down to counting down our cash register, because we count down obviously to a certain amount, the rest is deposited. And there were a couple times where this deposit didn't match. There were some funds missing, and the one time I know it was explainable, but later that day there was an overage that was removed, or maybe not later the day, maybe the next day there was a overage removed that would have taken place of about half of what was missing. It was only a few dollars, and that didn't get put in, and I know that that got pocketed. So you can probably see where this is going just by me saying this. This employee was trusted to handle everything in this business. It's a business I'm not always in because it is in a different town, so we try to monitor off and on from our security camera system. And just catching glimpses here and there. There was some change taken out of like a little change cup. For some unknown reason, we thought maybe it was to balance out the cash drawer, which it shouldn't have an issue. I don't know, kind of started raising some alarms. And then there was a couple days ago, I was watching just to make sure that this individual got to work and opened, which I never suspected like attendance or anything like that to be an issue. This individual had a very good interview and interviewed really well, has handled cash deposits, and I never suspected any attendance issues to be an issue, but they got to work like right on the time we opened. And I later found some of the circumstances leading to that, and I kind of put it aside. I'm a pretty understanding person when it comes to this kind of stuff, and I just kind of let it all go. And then I kind of observed counting our cash register down after being open, like by 15 minutes or so, and being off. And I think this is the day that those funds could have went towards the funds from the previous day that was off. That's how this story goes. It's just a little hard to kind of focus on the entire story while riding this 2007 Honda Shadow. And you're probably like, this is a Shadow Day episode? Well, yeah, it's a topic that I kind of wanted to talk about, see if you've ever been fired or had to fire somebody, because this is going towards one of those two things. But nonetheless, we have an audio system on our camera system, and I had never really listened into this employee before, and for some reason I'm just like, I gotta see what's going on here. There's an individual in the store talking while the employee was counting down the change, and that's highly frowned upon, as you can imagine why. And I found out who this person was, but while I was doing so, there was a lot of bad-mouthing me towards this individual from the employee, saying how I must do nothing but watch the camera system all day, which is completely false, because I am a working owner. I have better things to do, but it's also my duty to watch employees and make sure that they are doing their job and doing what they're supposed to be doing. There was a lot of other personal attacks that came from the employee to this person that I don't know that I have ever met, and I'm like, okay, well, I can live with this. I will just address this issue separately and give that opportunity to talk about it. But that opportunity never really came, because the individual working had a family member that came in shopping. Well, they were there visiting for quite a while, and I wasn't watching that entire event, but curious about what had happened in the morning, I went and just kind of checked in on the camera system again, come across it, witnessed the family member attempting to purchase some items. Not all items were rung up, and they were put in a shopping bag. At the same time, the family member went and used the private restroom, which I don't really have as big of issue with. That, you know, it's meant for employees only and not meant for the public, because we got product and stuff behind the door. But in this case, it's a family member. You know, they're not gonna steal anything from the place that gives their family member the paycheck. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I have felt. Witnessing a $3 item not getting scanned with intention and putting in the bag. And then there was we sell some incense, and you get a little bit of a break on them when you buy 10, and only 2 individual incense were rung up, and I know there's at least 10 in that bag. So, and I have that all documented on video, so you can kind of see why I named this "Have You Ever Been Fired, or Have You Ever Had to Fire Somebody?" Because of that instance, the bad mouthing, and another family member later coming in, buying an item, and the item was an item that should never have a discount given on it to an employee, because it's a very low margin item, meaning we don't make hardly anything on the item to begin with. It's a $5 item, and it was marked down under $3. So there's a couple bucks there. There's a few bucks on this $3 item, then I don't know, like less than $2 on another item, and then add up some of the change that had gone missing out of the little kind of, we use it like a tip jar, or like if somebody says keep the change, you know, the employees can always keep tips if somebody says keep the change. Oh, get a little happy on the throttle. So I don't care about that so much, because when a customer says, hey, keep the change, I look at it as, hey, good job, you know, here's a little bit of a tip. But most of the employees we've ever had, they just throw them in this little cup, call it good. If somebody needs a little change here or there, we just dig into it and help them out. Oh, and one other thing, Well, no, let me just save that, because that's a little more interesting. And this individual very well could be watching this video. They were told about the channel, and if they are watching this video, I honestly don't care. I hope they are, because they know what they did. They should have been charged with petty theft, basically. So nonetheless, I observed this. I had to go out of town. I wanted to immediately just travel an hour to this location, but I couldn't. I had to travel 2 hours to watch our youngest play softball. So the whole way to softball, the entire softball game, the entire night after watching softball, getting home and trying to sleep, and the entire drive in the morning, because I had decided, you know what, I can't do this tonight. I'm going to do it first thing in the morning. This individual is going to get fired, which is, you know, so much fun to do. So I waited, made the drive in the morning, kind of felt very anxious all morning long, because I was anticipating this and wondering what kind of confrontation there was going to be from it, and you know, how it was going to go and what I was going to say. And I don't know why I was just so worried about it, because I already knew what was going to happen. But there's those second guesses, like, oh, well, this employee was good with customers, this employee was very friendly, easy to talk to. But when you start putting some of the things that were being said to this, remember that person I was telling you about that was there while the employee was counting down the cash register in the mornings? So that person was there for, I don't know, probably 45 minutes to an hour. It was a representative from a different business, let's just say that. I want to kind of keep this vague and protected to a certain degree, but I do want to talk about this, because these are kind of some of the things that you don't know of as two-wheeled friends that happen in my life. I'm letting you into our lives a little bit more, just to see. I get there yesterday morning, it's a Friday morning, and I made it a point to get there early before this individual got there. I had some stuff to do. I wanted to check for any of their personal belongings, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I kind of have an upset stomach, I suppose, from all of this stuff, and I went in to use the restroom, and when I come out, this individual's in the store. I had the door locked. They come in for their shift, and evidently they walked, because they didn't have a ride, so they walked, like, I was told 5.5 miles, but I also heard them tell this other individual that they had to walk 4.5 miles on, you know, 2 days prior, so I don't know what it is. Anyways, I let them catch their breath for about 30 seconds, and then I just asked for the key, and they had no idea of why I was releasing them of their employment. They asked why, and I said, you know why? And they're like, I don't. And after I gave the answer, and you know, you digest all of it and whatnot, you start kind of thinking back and putting all the pieces together. Like all day yesterday, I put all the pieces together of like all these little like suspicious little things, and why I had always felt just a little bit off about this individual. Like there's something here that I don't know about, and thereknow I can't put my finger on it, you know? Like your instinct, like your gut, you just know sometimes something's not right. And it wasn't like an unsettled feeling, it was just something, just, I don't know, like nothing major, just a tiny little something like that, little bit of doubt. Well, I found out why. I mentioned all of the stuff. They had an excuse for the $3 item, like, oh, well, was I talking, you know, like basically was I distracted, and it was the answer was no, because they weren't. And then this other $5 item, I was told, well, I was going to finish paying for that today. No, you weren't. I already know you weren't. You can use that as an excuse. I know you had only received 1 week's paycheck from us before the next pay period, because it started mid pay period basically. So I get it, funds were probably a little tight, but I know you had no intention and finished paying for that item, and I just figured cut our losses now. I don't know everything else that went missing in this 3-week period, which, let's see, there was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 10, like 9, I think 9 working days, because we work long hours. So we work 12-hour shifts and 8 on one day. There's one 8-hour day in there. So it wasn't even, you know, it's 3 weeks sounds like not a lot of time, but when you start taking the actual working days, it's even less. So all of this happened just in those amount of days working. I reached out to our other full-time employee and said, hey, I just wanted to give you the heads up. This other employee is no longer employed with us. They said, I'm sorry to hear about that. May I ask why? And I found out that they were curious of why, because they had a personal item. They had some earbuds go missing, and he indicated like, hey, maybe I just misplaced them or something like that, but he was pretty sure he had left them at work. I know I have seen them, and I know where he leaves them, and they were missing. The problem with all this is he didn't tell me they were missing until after this fact, and at that time that footage to review was non-existent. It had been overwritten, unfortunately, so I can't prove that, but I know where those earbuds went, and so does he. My anxiety level was like really super high having to fire this individual. My father, who is a co-owner in this business, was watching on our security camera system at the time. He's like, I just want to make sure everything goes okay, yada yada yada. And he said his heart was pumping. He's like, it was like watching like a suspenseful movie or like a horror movie where you're just like on the edge of your seat because you don't know what's going to be said and all this. And that's how I felt too. But the moment I started talking about those personal attacks on me, I had like the best focus and just felt confident in my decision and what I was doing because I felt it in my heart. You guys know me enough from these videos. You know I'm a good-hearted person. I do what's right by people. I try to give people chances, and just a genuinely nice guy. And then to be taken advantage like this, it's behind me, and you guys will never believe what else happened yesterday. And I know this video is probably getting a little long-winded. I hope you're still with me, but things happen for reasons. And I had an individual in later, well, not later, well, obviously it was after the firing. This new person came in as a customer, and I got talking to her, and she's like, hey, you seem like you're the guy in charge. And I go, yeah, I am. And she's like, hey, I just want to give you a compliment on one of your employees. And I'm like, oh yeah, is that right? She's like, yeah, every time I come in, he's such a nice guy. So I was talking about her other employee. He's such a nice guy. He's always pleasant. He's just friendly. And I just thought I should let you know, because employees don't get enough recognition. And I'm like, hey, you know, I recognize that in him. I appreciate that you do too, and thank you, you know. And I said while I was there, I'm like, well, generally I'm not here, but here's what went down. I had to let somebody go this morning. And she's like, oh really? She's like, well, I just recently left my job due to these reasons that could not be fixed in her workplace. And it kind of transpired one thing to another. I gave her an impromptu interview, and she starts Monday. Yeah, so if you do or you do not believe in like things happening for a reason, or you know, people being in your life at certain periods of time, or even this employee that I had to let go after just a few weeks of employment, you learn something from these people. They're in your life for a reason. They come and go, and sometimes we don't always know why they're there. But this one that I fired was there obviously to teach me some things about managing and whatnot. So I genuinely feel, you know, like learning about people's characters. And I mean, I had an instant connection with this new person that I hired. I was just kind of blown away. It's not one of those too good to be true type situations, because I know this is going to be a good situation. It's a good fit for both of us. I genuinely feel. I mean, maybe I'm just completely off my rocker and come Monday she won't show up, but I don't foresee that. So that's my two-wheeled story today on Shadow Day. Shadow Day was a little different. I don't always want to talk about motorcycle stuff, you know, like you guys need to know what's going on in Two-Wheeled's life and Mrs. Two-Wheeled's life. Get that bond. I want you guys to bond with me. And I know a lot of you are here just for this shadow, but please, 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 whether you don't like Harley Davidson or you do, be sure to watch some of those other videos when we're on the Harley, because you're gonna get an insight to us a little bit more. These videos we're here talking to you. We want to tell you stories. We want to share this world with you. We want to share everything about our area with you. I mean, this is a river that starts about 30 miles north, flows into this lake, and it fills it with sediment. It's our recreational lake, but it's got issues because of the river flowing in. There's something you didn't know. Oh, it used to have an outlet over here, but they built an airport, like, I don't know, like during World War II or something. I don't know. I'm not like this history buff on this stuff, but and they filled it in, so it doesn't even flow out, and that's why it collects all this silt and sediment and runoff and all this stuff. So, but maybe we could talk about that another day. Maybe that could be like another Shadow Day video. So, answer down below. Are you in any type of management type position where you have to oversee employees and know the joys that I just talked about? And you know, there's good moments, there's bad moments. Drop us a comment below. Maybe you've been on that receiving end. I felt bad because that's, you know, a paycheck for this person I fired, but they did it to themselves. I slept better last night, and I'm not going to lose any sleep over it anymore. So I made the decision, and we're good. So leave us a comment down below what you think. Maybe I'll think of some more stuff and I'll do another video on it, but that kind of covers the most of it. If you are new to the channel, this happens to be your first Shadow Day video, go check out all the other videos. And then if you like what you see, definitely go down, click that subscribe button, ring the bell so you're notified for future uploads and activities. Give this video a big thumbs up. And until the next time, two-wheeled friends, I'm going to give you a peace out as soon as I get it in neutral, and then these people will watch me. So until next time, two-wheeled friends, peace out, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.